Hey everyone, Once Bitten here with Game 3 of the preparatory tournament to the Brawler Bash coming up in April. 3,000 points. This is a meeting engagement scenario, and this is my Empire versus Wood Elves, and you might recognize the army. I played this opponent in Game 1 of the ScarabCon tournament, which was just the last one I went to. In that game, I pulled out the victory, but he won the tournament. So, kind of looking forward to this. Figured it'd be a good game. Now, in this tournament, not only do we have scenarios like meeting engagement, but each of us can choose individual objectives for each game. Like you have 6 to choose from, and you can choose a different one each game, and that gives you some opportunities for more bonus points as well as special rules. And you'll see that play out in a little bit. So anyway, he has 8 Treekin, 20 Glade Guard with his Battle Standard Bearer. He's got his General, which is a level 4 life, 4-up ward. He's got a Treeman Ancient, and then a unit of Glade Guard you can see in the top, and then there's actually another one just outside this picture. Now, the builds on his characters, I don't know anything besides this because I didn't get a chance to get a copy of his list, and quite frankly, if you don't see it, it means it didn't really make a big impact on the game. And then kind of separate from them, way over here, he's got his 6 more Treekin, and then he's got those woods, which is really hiding his units. And my opponent wasn't doing anything dicey or anything, but the way his models are painted matched these woods perfectly, and you just can't see what's there. He's got a Noble, and he's got a unit of Dryads, and then he also has another Treeman in there, and even in this picture, I can't see the Treeman. So he's there, trust me, but yeah. I didn't see him there when I was deploying. It was kind of a nasty surprise when he moved out of it. So, in response, I put my steam tank in front of the unit of 8 Treekin because I have no idea how I'm going to handle those with anything I have. I just have to tie them up, shoot them, and then maybe get in combat later. I don't know. I don't know how to deal with them. Big unit of Halberdiers, my Battle Standard Bearer, then my Inner Circle Knights. The Knights, of course, have the Warrior Priest. 2 archer detachments here with the Halberdiers, and I put them there just to be as a bunker for my Wizard. My Wizard Lord is actually not going to stay where you see him here. When I found out my opponent had scouts, I moved him so the scouts couldn't deploy behind me. Anyway, one of my cannons was held in reserve, and so it's off the table. Otherwise, I have a cannon and a Hull Blaster here. My Master Engineers between them. Next to them, I've got my Great Swords, and they've got an archer detachment to the right, a Celestial Hurricane behind them. My General's with them. Some handgunners to the left. To the far left is my unit of Demigryph Knights. They're the ones that I just bought. I haven't had time to assemble them yet. And then behind all that, I put my Captain on Pegasus, and I put him behind my lines and angled like he is because I know that his Noble over here has like a 9-inch move. And so if he's going to go around and get to my flank and shoot at me, that's fine, but I want him to have to at least risk me charging him. So there's a picture of my Wizard after I redeployed him to make sure his scouts couldn't get behind my lines. And his other scouts, or these are the scouts I didn't want behind my lines, so they go right in front of my Master Engineer, so they're going to march up, shoot at him, and will probably die. But if they can take out my Master Engineer, it's probably be worth it for him. And the special rules that my opponent chose allowed him to take one character and vanguard him. So he vanguarded his guy up, and then he's going to vanguard him around my Demigryph Knights so that he can shoot at either my Captain on Pegasus or at my level 4. I think he moved him here thinking he could squeeze between the Demigryphs and that impassable terrain, but I just kind of said, you know, I put my Demigryphs there so that he couldn't do that, because you can't go through there and maintain an inch between my Knights and an inch between the impassable. So I was kind of like, you know, either let me redeploy my unit or let's play the rules so that, you know, I'm not kind of taking the brunt of that. He didn't protest. He just moved him around the other side. So Wood Elves turn 1, it looks like that. The Treekin didn't move up nearly as aggressively as I thought they would. I guess he didn't want my he wants to charge my steam tank and not have my steam tank charge them. Here's his Glade Guard scouts just marching right up to shoot at my Master Engineer. And that's where he put his Noble on the left. So I guess his choice is to shoot at my Captain on Pegasus or shoot at my my Wizard Lord. And the only thing that's really saved me from my Wizard Lord is that he is directly behind my Captain on Pegasus, so I'd get a cover save by that. But that's still an awful lot of shots to weather. So here's this unit. Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously going to unload on him with everything I have. Other than that, I don't know how to deal with him. If he got his treemen and those treekin into my great swords, he would, wow, he would tear me up. I would not be able to do enough wounds. I eventually just had to move the trees in this forest because I couldn't see his models, and I wanted to be able to see what I was facing. Archers open up. They kill one of my inner circle knights. His Hail of Doom goes off, and you can see at the very top, that's my captain on Pegasus, and if you draw a straight line through him, that's his Hail of Doom guy. He's actually really far away, but he was in range. Did a bunch of shots, you know, hit on enough, wounded on enough. I had a 4-up save, and I saved all but one. So I was breathing easier after that. These guys put 1 wound on my Master Engineer. They actually hit twice, and we resolved 1 on the Hellblaster. And it didn't affect the game, but we screwed that up because when we transferred it to the Hellblaster, we used toughness 3 instead of toughness 7. But like I said, it doesn't matter. It didn't affect anything. Go to Empire turn 1. Move my steam tank up. I did 4 steam points, so I moved with 3, and I want to shoot a cannon with 1. And because I'm going to forget later, I can tell you that when I shot the cannon, I hit him just fine, but I failed to wound on the first one, and because it's monstrous infantry, on a cannonball shot, that stops it, kind of like a bolt thrower. But on monstrous infantry, monstrous cav, you know, those kind of models. If you look on the left, I decided to charge my inner circle knights at his treeman, and I think the reason why is just because I was thinking that I would be re-rolling to hit with a bunch of strength 6 hits, and could do a lot of wounds to him. In hindsight, it's not realistic that I'd be able to kill him, and it's not realistic that I'm going to break him because he's stubborn. There's a general nearby, and there's a battle standard bearer nearby. But I could tie him up. I know that I was thinking that I had plenty of other targets to shoot at with my cannons, so I didn't want to just ignore him thinking I was going to shoot at him because, you know, he's not my #1 priority. I've got the treekin and the treeman in front of my great swords that are my first priority. So I was taking a gamble on that. My halberdiers, I decided just to reform them. I think those treekin, I'm not going to be able to kill them all. They're going to come towards my great swords, and if they do, I want to be able to flank charge them with my halberdiers so that I don't just lose my whole great sword unit to them. Alternatively, I could have marched them maybe to the left of my, or marched them directly towards the battle standard bearer and tried to take care of his archers, but I was really just kind of hoping that my knights would take care of that because it takes halberdiers a long time to walk across the board. Took one archer detachment unit and charged the flank of the Glade Guard scouts, hoping that I could just beat them through combat res. So there's that. The captain on Pegasus charged his noble. My Demigryph knights charged his dryads in the woods and failed. And this is really what I'm looking at so much. I know that my great swords, you know, they'll be +1 to hit, re-rolling to hit, strength 5, but I really think even if I can beat the dryads eventually, I'm just going to lose the whole unit to him. So Empire does what Empire does best. I open up shooting. I am able to kill the treeman. I think I shot the cannon first and it wounded him but didn't quite kill him, and so then I used the Hellblaster and was able to take off the remaining wounds, which is kind of a bummer. I was really hoping to kill him with the cannon, but that's probably unrealistic because the thing has at least 5, maybe 6 wounds. I was hoping to be able to use that Hellblaster at the Dryad, at the treekin, but yeah, wasn't to be. And over here, I think I got what odds say I should get. I got 3 wounds on the Treeman Ancient. He kills 3 of my guys. I win, he's stubborn, and we stick. And at this point, really, the best thing I can hope for is that he kills 2 knights. So he wins combat, I break, he doesn't catch me, and I have enough guys left that I'm rallying on something other than Snake Eyes. And that's really the most I can hope for. And if that happens, then these guys did their job wonderfully. The detachment only killed 1 guy. I lost 2, and he reformed. So I think I'm going to lose his detachment, but at least it'll keep him from shooting at my Master Engineer next turn, and I can still just charge him with my other detachment, or I can charge him with my halberdiers. So I think I'll be okay there. We go to Wood Elf turn 2. His tree can charge my detachment, and I flee. And then he redirects to my Hellblaster. He needed a 10 to get there, and he made it. Darn it. I would have loved a failed charge because I could have shot at him one more time. but it wasn't to be. This one, I can tell you, obviously he's going to beat the Hellblaster, and when he overruns, he hits the fleeing detachment unit. And the way we played it, the way I said I think we're supposed to play it, is no matter what he rolls to overrun, he stops at the detachment, you remove the detachment because they were caught while fleeing, and there you go. We thought there's a chance that you might just overrun your full distance and just pick up the detachment on your way. And if that's the case, please let me know, because that means we would have misplayed it. So there's a close-up. And at this point, by the way, I'm really glad that I reformed my halberdiers, because I'd be in a lot of trouble otherwise. Here on the right, his tree can charge my steam tank. I don't think my steam tank can survive against those treekin. It's just too many attacks, too many wounds. They're high strength, but I'm hoping just to hold them up long enough that I can clean up everything else and get some war machines going at them. After combat, it looks like that. So yeah, he easily beat the Hellblaster, overran, hit my detachment. We removed them, and he stopped right there. Like I said, it's not really going to affect a whole lot. My halberdiers are going to charge his Glade Guard that beat my detachment, and he's going to choose to flee, and I'm going to redirect into the rear of his treekin. And the way it is now, it's almost an auto in. I just need very, very little to get there. If he had overran further, he would have missed my engineer, and it probably means I would have needed like a 6 or 7, so I could have failed it with my halberdiers. More than likely would have made it. In combat over here, he only kills one knight. I actually win combat because of the standard and a musician, and he holds, of course. So this combat is, you know, it's lasting too long. I need either to have broken him, or I need to get the heck out of there. And his guys come in and do no wounds to me. You know, he's wounded on 5s, and then I'm saving on 3s. It's just, it's tough. Yeah. Over on the left, when I charged my captain on Pegasus into his noble, the first turn we traded wounds. The second turn, I was able to kill him. So I'd reformed afterwards. Nice to get that guy off the table. We go to Empire turn 2. Like I said, my halberdiers charged his scouting Glade Guards. They fled, bounced through a bunch of stuff. My Sustral Hurricanum charged him, was able to catch him, and then I passed a leadership test and reformed my Hurricanum. My halberdiers redirected into the rear of his treekin, and I am really nervous about this because I'm going into it with static combat res 8, and odds are he should do 8 wounds to me. So, you know, after that, you never know what could happen. Although he only has 9 attacks plus 3 stomp, so he probably shouldn't get too many more than 8. I just really need to make sure that I do some wounds to him so I win combat, and that I really need him to break, because if he sticks, he's going to really whittle down that halberdier unit. And that's why I went ahead and just reformed my greatswords instead of marching them forward towards the enemy lines, because I'd rather just get points where I can. So make sure that we get these treekin taken care of. If you look at the top, my Demigryph Knights charged his Dryads in the woods, and I think I'll win that eventually. I should. After combat, he did 9 wounds to me. I thought I was in a lot of trouble, but I ended up doing, I don't know, 2 or 3 back. It doesn't matter. I did enough to win combat, broke him, and ran him down. So that was very, very nice. And over here, he does 2 wounds to my steam tank. Because this was my turn, I was able to generate steam points, and so I did some grinding attacks. I did some wounds on him. It doesn't really affect anything, but it makes me feel better. If you look at the top left, that blue star really means that he won combat this time against my Inner Circle Knights. I broke. I ran 11 to get away. I was so excited, and then he ran at 11 to run me down. So that's kind of a bummer. Demigryphs win combat. Dryads stick. Not really worried about that. His turn, his Treeman Ancient is now all the way across the board because he moved 11 inches, and then he moved over where you can see him. So really, I'm going to get a shot at him with a cannon, maybe 2 cannons, because remember I had a second cannon that came in on turn 1. And I'm going to kill him, or he's going to get into my lines and cause a lot of problems. Shooting opens up, kills a bunch of halberdiers. Dryads lose, but are stubborn in the woods, and they stick. Shoots at my handgunners, kills a few. We go to Empire turn 3. Now, I guess some of my options were to move up with my troops and try to get around his Treeman Ancient, and then open up shooting on his Treeman Ancient and just assume I would kill him and be closer to his lines. But instead I did this, just kind of stayed in the woods to get me a cover save and stayed back. Really, there's just kind of this killing zone between our two lines, and anything goes into it just gets shot really badly. If you look at the top, I took my Captain on Pegasus, flew him behind that rock. I think if he reforms, some of his guys can see me, but I'll get that cover save, and if he doesn't reform, I can charge the flank of some stuff. So this is me being a chicken, staying back in the woods. During the magic phase, get Irresistible Force, put a wound on my level 4, so he's 1 wound remaining, but I get a comet off right in the middle of his lines. Now his general is not in a unit, so if that comet goes off, and basically he's just going to have to join a unit, and the comet has the potential to rip into these guys, so pretty excited about that. Cannons open up, kill his Treatment Ancient, and that's got to be very frustrating for my opponent. And if you look on the right hand side, my steam tank is just locked in combat with his Treekin, and that is what is really frustrating him, because now he really doesn't have a way to get any points from me. He can shoot me, he can get units down. If he gets units down below 25%, he gets half points for them, and if he gets characters down just to 50%, he gets points for them. So he can get some points, but he doesn't have anything in combat that can do anything except for those Treekin, and they're having a real hard time getting past my steam tank. So I just love this view of this zone in between our troops that nobody wants to go into. So he does not put his general in a unit. The comet goes off. I roll a 4 for the number of hits against his general. We had a rules question: does he get a lookout sir from that? Because I know you get lookout sir for, quote, any shooting attack. But I don't know if Comet qualifies for a shooting attack. My guess is it doesn't because it's direct damage, but if I shot a magic missile, is that a shooting attack? So I would just like to know that. It would be nice to know. I blow up one unit pretty good. 4 hits. He just resolved them all on his level 4 and then just saved him with his ward save. So not a bad way to go. So pretty disappointed with what the Comet did there. I thought I had a real opportunity to take his general off the table. Let's see, my Demigryph Knights had finally beaten the Dryads last turn. I had 3 guys left. One of them was only on 1 wound. He opens up shooting. He takes off a wound, so I lose a guy there. They fail their panic and run away. They open up shooting. Even with the cover save, they're able to put another wound on my Captain on Pegasus. Luckily, the Pegasus has 3 wounds. But now I'm scared to charge him in. He only has 1 wound, and I'm going to have to face a stand and shoot. He might have a flank I could hit, but it's actually kind of hard to get there now. So I realized that was probably just a bad plan. I'm so wishy-washy this tournament, I swear. We go down here. He's done 4 wounds total to my steam tank. It's got to be so frustrating. It's just this immovable force. We go to Empire turn 4. In hindsight, I'm thinking I should have just marched my guys up to get to his lines, because what am I doing hanging back? But what I was thinking was, I've got the game. I'm ahead on points. Why risk it? He has to come to me. I don't have to go to him. I've got 2 cannons that I'm kind of sniping at his characters. I mean, these things are rocket. I mean, they're laser-guided rockets. It's crazy. And, the lookout sirs are saving him, but I figure he's going to fail one of them, and I'm going to pick off his general or his BSB. So anyway, it looks like that. I hide my Captain on Pegasus. I rally my Demigryph Knights. His turn, he doesn't do anything except shoot, and he kills a few things. My turn, I decide that I don't want the game to be too boring, so I go ahead and march my great swords up at him. Yeah, but I'm shooting rockets. He's getting lookout sirs, so I'm killing some things, but nothing of significance. He's still unable to wound me. I do a couple more wounds to him. He reforms. It just, I'm not going to kill him, and he, at this point, may or may not be able to kill me. Go to Wood Elf turn 6. He forms a nice battle line, getting ready to shoot everything he has at my great swords. And I'm looking at it now thinking, it was too little too late. I moved up, and now I'm not close enough to charge anyway. So there's his battle line. I am close enough for him to get Dwellers Below off, and so he does. And yeah, so he gets Dwellers Below. He shoots the unit. Now it's so small, it's not going to do anything. He's now up to 7 wounds on my steam tank. So now he actually has a chance. He can do 3 wounds in a turn of combat. So if he can do 3 more wounds, he can kill this guy before the game ends and at least get that. We go to Empire turn 6. I don't charge because I'm not likely to make it in. It was just pointless. So it looks like that. And he can't kill my steam tank. I think he does 1 wound. So I'm sitting on 2 wounds left, and the game ends. Kind of an interesting game. You know, in all honesty, well, I've had fun all 3 games of this tournament. I don't like how I played Empire this tournament, but then again, I'm still new to Empire, and I feel like I learned a lot of things I would do differently. With this game, out of the 750 possible extra victory points for scenario objectives, I got 500, and he got 250. He actually got a lot more points from me than I thought he did because he got a lot of units that were down to only 25% of their starting strength and characters down at half. So I think I ended up with a total of 1,900 points. He had 1,470, something like that. So technically I won, but again, with the way this tournament's being scored, it's all about how much you kill. And that's where I was saying in hindsight, I should have just marched my troops forward because I wasn't gaining anything by conserving points. But it doesn't matter. It is what it is. So another tournament I went undefeated. I think there were only 2 players that went undefeated, and the guy that I beat game turn 1 actually won the tournament without going undefeated. So kind of funny how that worked. But anyway, that's it. That's it for the game and the tournament. Hope you enjoyed it.